Manis. This is
Helmets
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
You know what's a good Friday? When you get a Jaguars mock game and Firehouse Subs
Heck
drops
yeah.
by food.
Shout out Firehouse. They do it right. Every time, they've brought all sorts of different subs here when it comes to just my normal sub go-to is just like a turkey sub, and they have a few different ones. I think it's the hook and ladder one that has like turkey, mushroom, all of that. So delicious. And so they do it so well because it's one of the ones where, I don't know, all the meat feels like so juicy and fresh and delicious without everything getting soggy and falling apart. I don't know how they do it, but it's like
It's magic,
yeah, it's magical, but it's absolutely delicious.
And they brought by Cajun fries, Tom.
Yes.
Ooh, so
And the
good.
chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, today was their new smoke and honey melts. So you can use either grilled chicken or prime rib on it. And then it comes with like a chipotle honey sauce, red and green peppers, caramelized onions, provolone, and then it's on that toasted roll. So absolutely delicious. You can't go wrong at Firehouse, but some of this new stuff they've been bringing out have been really good too. And the Cajun fries remind me a little bit, because I was expecting a little spicy, but they're more of like a barbecue chip. That's like what the flavor tasted like to me, but it was very good.
But they're good. I always say I don't love French fries unless you're giving me like Rally's French fries, which I haven't had in forever.
Oh,
and if I compare a French fry to Rally's fries, that's a very high compliment.
Yeah.
And the Cajun fries reminded me of the Rally's fries. Not
That's a
curly,
good
but
yeah,
just like the way that they tasted. I'm not a fan of French fries unless they have like a little seasoning on
to
them.
them.
Right.
Don't just
like
give me
Cruiser's got good fries.
don't give me just salt. I want like some seasoning.
Some other something on there.
Thank you, Firehouse.
Yes,
fantastic.
thank you so much.
Yes, fantastic food brought by today. And now we're going to talk about how I jinxed the Jaguars on our show on Wednesday. If you remember, I said, and we even knocked on wood, but it didn't help. I said the Jaguars haven't fumbled to this point.
I
in
thought
training
about
camp.
that.
And then yesterday, Ventrell Miller forced a fumble on Amir Abdullah.
Yeah.
And Ventrell at least recovered it, so that was great for him.
Yeah.
And the defense, of course, celebrated it. But I was like, that's the first fumble. And I literally had just said it. It hadn't happened.
It was funny because that's the first thought that came to my head. I was like, Lauren just said there was no fumbles, and then it popped out. But
Shame
good
on
for
me.
Ventrell. That's just the play that you want to see Ventrell Miller making. Also, we talk about that linebacker room and what that's going to look like. And Devin Lloyd, one thing he did last year was force a lot of turnovers. So you want somebody who comes in, and if you're getting glimpses of that now, that part is exciting.
I tell you, Amir Abdullah's had a nice camp, man. He had a good day today again. He's finding holes. He can break free. Did a little high stepping. Old school high stepping for an old man. He looked really good, but that's not just today. Like he's run away from the defense a few times. We were talking on Jaguars today, maybe on or off the air, I can't remember, but he may be, at the top of the line for number 4 right now. You got Jamari Taylor, because you got to think, look, if LeQuint gets injured, we hope he never does.
Yeah.
But who's your third down back if you don't? If LeQuint's out, right? Is it Rodriguez? Is it Tootin? Or do you want another guy like a Jamari Taylor or an Amir Abdullah, who's really, man, he's been really impressive. Little guy, but fast, and he doesn't run like he's 33 years old in his 12th or 13th year. So I think he's making a push for position on this team, because he can return kicks too.
Yeah.
So he can help you in that regard. So,
thanks. Because the practice squad rules were changed several years ago, thankfully for him, he can actually be on a practice squad even though he does have all that experience.
Correct.
It used to be that once you had more than 3 years, you couldn't be on a practice squad,
Right.
which didn't help. But to your point, and yes, you guys had part of that conversation on air. I was listening on the way back.
Thanks for the reminder.
Absolutely. But I think every time he gets the ball, other than the one fumble, I've been impressed. And I definitely didn't expect that when I saw that they signed him, because I remember watching him in college at Nebraska, and he was fantastic, obviously, then. But like you said, he's been in the league for a long time. But I feel like the running backs, I'm impressed with Chris Rodriguez every time he gets the ball. I think today he would have scored a touchdown if they were live tackling. But because they weren't tackling, they called him just short of
they blew the whistle.
touchdown.
I was like a little early, but
he would have trucked those defenders.
It did feel like a quick whistle to me, because it was like the moment there was like any contact, they blew it. And I was like, they picked up Josh Allen and lifted him 7 yards. We couldn't feel like C-Rod. But those are the moments where you don't really know. Same, there was a couple moments today that I feel like one of the touchdowns, the LeQuint touchdown, feel like could have been a sack if it was in.
There were a lot of sacks out there today.
Yeah, and so those are moments where you don't actually see that today, but you're like he was running around and he was scrambling and
Still
moving.
a great throw.
Yeah, it was.
They finished the play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, B.J. Green the second had a great day.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
Durfee.
Josh Hines Allen was not out on the field. He was on the sideline, but did not participate. So to give people an idea, you did have Trayvon Walker and Eric Armstead and those types of guys. Devon Hamilton all played and participated. Josh didn't. That was planned, so no injury concern for the here and now. But we have been asking the question, if either Trayvon or Josh can't go, who steps up? And the answer, at least from today's mock game, and again, they're not tackling, was B.J. Green.
I think even for camp, he's the leader. You know, on the board when it comes to that first guy off the bench to rush the pass.
And then I would say it might even be Zach Durfee behind him.
I think Durfee's next.
Ahead of Danny Strigow.
I do, yeah. I mean, Danny, he's solid. He's going to be here. He just hasn't,
He hasn't flashed.
No, he hasn't flashed. He's just, I don't know. I haven't really noticed him. And there's no knock on him, but he hasn't, as opposed to you've noticed 95. The guys in the backfield, whether it's a run with a tackle for loss like he did today or rushing a passer. I mean, he's there. You could see it. That's just the eye test when you're like, oh, well, who stood out? Well, he's one of the guys that has stood out throughout camp.
Yeah, he would have gotten multiple sacks today. There was one punt return that Parker Fair caught. And after it, LaQuint Allen and B.J. Green were just a little extra, after, not like shoving, but were in each other's faces after the play. And I was like, now that would be fun.
That'd be a good one.
I'd like to see that go down.
Yeah.
I was listening because you guys had Branson Combs on, and he was great. He seemed a super nice guy, but he was talking about the trash talk part of it, and he was like, I don't really do that. Like, I will if they say something to me.
Yeah, he didn't have an answer for that one.
It's okay. You don't have wide receivers. I mean, I guess some are trash talkers, but for the most part, it's not.
Yeah. How about that wide receiver to linebacker?
Crazy.
Yeah. But he can run. He's a big kid too. He's not, it's not like he's undersized. He's had a really good catch. Another, him and Ventrell. You say, well, who's had a good camp? Well, number 50 and number 51 have had really good camps. They're making plays all over the place, the run, the pass, they're standing out. And he's right there. They're going to have an interesting battle, I think, moving forward.
I was just saying, I have one complaint from today.
Yep.
Just one. Can we not get 1s v1s in the mock game and 2s v2s when you have a pretty much sold out stands for the fans? Like, give them a little bit of it, a taste of it.
Well, and you think you'd have more fireworks in that regard, too.
Correct.
It started off slow. Yeah. Like, not very
incompletion,
good.
Incompletion.
At least for the one offense, you would expect more fireworks.
More fireworks,
yeah.
for sure.
And it's like, okay, does that mean that the backups on defense are just that good? Like a Jabbar Muhammad and guys like that?
Well, coverage has been tight in the secondary, not just with the starters throughout camp, too. So, they're holding their own. And again, it's that part of it, that's full speed, the receivers and the DBs. I mean, they're trying to get open, trying to cover, that kind of thing. The up front is not. It is to a certain degree, and then they just kind of stop or slow down because you're not going to hit the QB. You're not going to, if the lineman got beat for a second, he's not going to like recover and dive at your thigh to knock you off the ball. You know what I mean? To save his quarterback. They're not going to do anything like that. But overall, the defense has been tight. Mullins did throw a good pass at one point, and I was like, I had to give him credit. I had to because it was to Trammell. They was down there. They're going away from the crowd.
Training camp Trammell.
Yeah. And it was a nice throw and everything, and I just felt like, man, finally you got maybe something going there.
But he also threw an interception.
No, I know. And, Aguilar and Carter, they don't. You got to wonder, do they start thinking about bringing somebody in? I mean,
I think we've all been talking about it for that reason.
Because it's with when Mullins is in there, and we were talking about this the other day, and I was watching it a lot today. He starts moving the second the ball gets in his hand, like he's trying to figure out where to go too quickly. And I don't know if that's just not totally comfort in what is happening around you, if that's a little bit of you're not even getting hit today and you're running away from things. So
I call it happy feet.
Very
happy
Minshew
feet. Used to have like just not comfortable in the pocket at all.
And so you see that a lot, and today it showed quite a few times where I'm like, man, just settle down a little bit. And maybe because the one throw, like you see the arm at times, it's just like you never see him fully just breathe for a second and go through some of your progressions. You never see that. It's immediately ball not there, go, run around trying to figure out what to do.
And his second O-line against the first O-line, he's always under pressure. I mean, it's just going to be that way.
It was really almost more like third O-line.
No, true.
At times today, because we saw a couple guys like Emmanuel Pregnon did not participate in team, and then we saw Walker Little. He started with the ones, and then he went off and got nicked up a little bit and didn't come back.
And then McCarty's not out there.
And still no Patrick McCarty.
I tell you what, the tandem of Monheim and Milam looked pretty good, for just being a mock game. You got to see them in real live action, but They played a lot out there. They were the first team with Hainsey and Ezra and Anton.
Yeah,
for
once Walker went off.
3-4 series. Some good long series. So, they're going to figure it out. We can't, we learned from last year. Don't get too carried away with the rotation of the linemen. But
no, but I'm concerned
to keep them out there is interesting.
And that's why they do it. They mix it up because you start to get a little concerned with these injuries. You've got Cole Van Leeuwen not obviously participating.
He's off to the side,
Yeah, and so you just start to look around and you're like, no wonder they're doing this.
Yeah.
Because if it's happening in training camp that guys are getting nicked up, then certainly that makes you a little nervous. I mean, even seeing Anton Harrison earlier this week go down for a little bit, obviously he's okay, but it just makes you hold your breath for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what, getting hurt in practice is the worst. Like, you don't want anybody to get hurt in practice. Come on, that's ridiculous. But it happens all the time. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, it does happen. But overall, good day. It was a good practice. I heard the boys, they got there early. They're veterans. What are they thinking? Like, you don't know by now.
So I guess some people didn't know the game was starting at 10. That's the problem. Like, some of us knew that the game was starting at 10. Some people thought it was going to start, I guess, at 8:30.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but there's going to be a warm-up, so I don't know.
But that was a
all
much
I did
longer
was
warm-up
ask.
than normal.
All I did was ask. I was like, wait, what? And they're like, 10. I'm like, you mean get here like 9:30? Like, yeah, kind of. I'm like, all right, perfect. Showed up at 9:50.
Maybe I read the Jaguars emails they send us, and maybe that's part of how I do. The one literally, especially for what the fans get, said 10 for them, even though, because I had fans that they were asking me, can we get there earlier? And I'm like, yeah, but it's just kind of like a warm-up stretch. I don't know how much you're going to see. So on the website, it said 10 o'clock for them. So there was some confusion there. So maybe that's why I see all of those things. But yeah, that's a long wait if you got there from the beginning of that.
Yeah, I got there around 9:15, and so that's when they were doing the same stretches and warm-ups that they do before an actual game. So I think for the fans that were there, like at least they got to see that. But then they took them inside for like a good 30 minutes. Yeah. And that's when I felt bad for the fans.
What did they do in there? I wasn't there yet.
I don't know what they did inside.
No.
Because I couldn't see.
They wouldn't let anybody
we weren't allowed in there. So yeah, I'm sure they were just continuing maybe having like pregame like
getting your
speeches.
Individual or something.
Maybe that.
I mean, you do have to go through the process, so on game day, you know where you're going.
Because on game days, that's why they probably did it. On game days, you come out, you warm up.
And then you're back in.
And then you go back in,
Correct.
and then you come back out. So I'm sure that was part of it. But
absolutely.
Shout out to the fans that were there today.
Packed house. Yeah. It's great.
I know some friends of ours were there, so shout out to them. And then shout out to the firefighters that I was hanging out with, Tilly and Scott. Tom, where I was right in front of the air conditioning, right in front of the indoor practice facility.
Very
so cool. It was literally like cool and comfortable for the mock game.
Very nice.
Yeah, Tommy was by the sun.
Yeah,
the sun was beating on my back. Thank God I had a shirt on, but it was kind of wet. Right. Felt like a Dad Bod's concert.
That's true. That's why you went home and got another shirt.
That's right.
Just like a Dad Bod's concert. All right, Tom's takeaways on the other side. More Jaguars to get into. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Get the goods on Gainesville 24/7. Search 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Tom Bush family of dealership studio.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Hey, Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here, so don't wait for that first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in those high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to your very own backyard. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
It's a Helmets and Heels Friday, enhanced by Bowden Iron Associates.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
No one knows more about fishing the First Coast than Captain Kevin Faber, the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services. And Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
What Jacksonville Jaguars player has scored the most touchdowns?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
With 81 touchdowns scored in his career, Maurice Jones-Drew is the all-time touchdown leader for the Jaguars. Fred Taylor is second with 70.
Southern Oak Insurance.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
I'm with Sullivan from Cycles of Jacksonville and Sullivan. You love the beach and you love to ride, so tell everybody what Honda's got cooking right now.
Yes, definitely. Here at Cycles of Jacksonville, we have a full line, Hondas, Vespas, Triumphs, everything you can think of just to ride to the beach. It's going to be the best summer ever when you hop on that ride this year.
And so if you head to the showroom first, you're going to see all sorts of examples of what they can enjoy.
Exactly. Come see us at the showroom, Atlantic Boulevard. We're ready to see you there.
You can log on, check out their Facebook page or cyclesofjacksonville.com.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of all trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clear water irrigation
and drainage too.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
The Fray plays this weekend at the Amp in St. Augustine, so we're bringing you some of The Fray.
Nice.
I love The Fray so much. I've loved them since I was like 15 or 16, and this is one of the bands that I've never been able to see live before, and they are going to be at the St. Augustine Amp. They'll be with Dashboard Confessional, who I also love. So it'll be a fun night, and we've talked about how all of us love the Amp. It sounds good. It feels even in the summertime. Yeah, even in the summertime, there's a breeze in there. So I'm super excited.
Very good. The Fray. I think I know a couple of their songs.
You definitely would know,
yeah, I know the one.
The two main ones.
Yeah.
The one became popular because of a TV show. Was it ER?
No.
It was definitely on Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, that's what it was. It was one of
ER was way back.
It was one of those. Because it makes sense how to save a life, and it's a doctor show.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That does make sense.
Yes. So Grey's Anatomy is when I feel like they skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah. That song was on there. There was like a group of that time where several of their songs got popular. They were on a ton of TV shows and movies and stuff like that. That song and a couple others. So it'll be fun, though.
Yeah, that'll be great. Down at the Amp, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Agreed.
spot, no question.
I did want to mention, since you mentioned injuries in the last segment, Tom, the Jaguars did sign a linebacker, Jelani Tavi, and they did end up waiving linebacker Jared Bartlett with an injury designation, which is no surprise, I think, on either account. But thoughts and prayers.
This
for
guy's,
Jared.
no doubt. And this new guy, he's played a lot of football. He's made a lot of plays. 7 years in the league, not a full-time starter guy, but you noticed his name from the playoffs last year in New England. He was, at least I did. I remember seeing Tavai out there making plays. Number 40, a kind of weird number for a backer, maybe 48, something like that. But it felt like he was, you saw him on the screen quite a bit. I saw in his stats with what he's done. I mean, look, he's done a little bit of everything. 14 pass breakups, a bunch of tackles, 14 QB hits, 25 TFLs, 6 forced fumbles, 5.5 sacks, 4 picks. So, that's over 7 years. So it's not like, super duper star, but a guy that's played a lot of ball. And look, you bring in a vet. I don't think this is a camp body. This is let's see what he's got, and can we figure out something for him? You know what I mean? And then the injuries. Obviously you got to fill that as well.
Which it was good to see. Jack Kaiser was on the sidelines today. He walked out. He has a knee brace on, but he was able to walk on his own. He was not on crutches or things like that.
That is good to hear.
That is good news. And you're right. I think it is pronounced Tavai, and he was number 48 with the Patriots.
He was,
Excellent memory.
Yeah. I don't know how that happens. But I just remember him being around the ball and making plays. So let's see what he can do here, and then where you put him, we're going to figure that out. I think that linebacker, situation is still working itself out. I think between Combs and Ventrell, I don't think it's a done deal either way. I think it's pretty close. I think you're going to see an or there. When they put out the depth chart, I don't think they're ready to name a starter yet.
And I wonder. Could you see some games where those two start and Foye comes off the bench?
If those two can cover, if they feel they can cover better than Foye, they will be the nickel backers. Yeah, that's how it'll go down. But the good, look, Foye can still cover. I mean, he's a good cover guy, and he's smart.
Yeah,
and he knows that he's just always around the football. His instincts are second to none. So, that's they'll figure that out. But if they can cover better, man, you got to put your best cover guys out on nickel without giving up the run. Yeah, of course.
All right, time now for Tom's Take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial #law. That's all.
My take today on this beautiful Friday afternoon is it was really a pleasure to interview Branson Combs and meet him today, the young linebacker. In his second year. He's big enough to play Mike. He's a big kid. He's not super duper big, but he's a good sized individual, can really run. When I asked him about, how'd you go from receiver to backer? Would you just knock somebody on their ass? He's like, yeah, pretty much. That's what happened. We were running bubble screens and I had to be the blocker. And they finally said, well, you should go over and play defense. So really, it's a humble kid. Look, he's. I asked him about his blitz game, because I think that's going to be part of the process. You got to get to the QB in this defense when Camp calls your number. You got to win that one-on-one battle. I'm looking forward to that. But I really enjoyed talking to him. I hope we get a chance, or I do get a chance to talk to Ventrell Miller sometime too, because look, he's in the thick of it too, and he's really good too. Listen, if you say, like I said earlier, who stood out? You'd put 50 and 51 out there. You'd be like, yeah, those guys definitely have stood out to camp. That's my take today, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, of course, and on your cell at #law. That's all. But, yeah, humble kid. I liked his answer about, do you talk? He's like, no. I didn't really. I had one. I can't repeat what I'd say, but it was the same thing every time. Like
you had the same
reply.
Trash talk.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It had an F, a P, a Y, and some other stuff. But it was like the same stuff every time. I could never get creative. I could never.
Well, I could have played the hangman game.
I was trying to move past that.
Wheel forward, Tommy Banks now. Let's go.
What I was going to say is I don't think linebackers, if you play the game well, I don't think you need to trash talk, right? Like,
yeah, true. I guess
you are trash talking with your physical hits and tackling. Like that's your trash talking.
Yeah. Well, Ray Lewis, I was kind of a talker. I think.
That's true.
I would think like to get the play, I don't have time to talk. Like I got to get the play. Like after the play's over, I'm looking at the sideline and you're talking to me, and I'm like beep 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 beep. Beat it. I got time for you. What I'm trying to get the call, for the next one.
Tom would not be mic'd up for one of those Jaguars.
I don't think
things.
so.
They'd be like, be a lot of beeps, and then they also would be like, it's the same thing every single time.
Yeah, you're boring, Tom.
You can project it. You were talking to Combs about the linebacker coach Lukabu. Is that how you say his name? Lukabu. Which it's not obviously very. He talks highly of them. Everybody has. His first year last year, obviously, when you talk about what they did to the run defense and some of those things, you talk about Devin Lloyd. We talk about Coach Camp so much and how Antonio Johnson and Buster Brown and Devin Lloyd, but Devin Lloyd and when you talk about because Devin Lloyd went to Carolina, who Coach Lukabu came from also, so there has to be some sort of conversations between that of when the Panthers were calling, like how much do you like this kid? I'm sure that was being had, but I like what he said about that too, of just it's all the small things. Like even if the play goes well, you're still having conversations about the intricate things of what needs to be fixed. And I think that's the difference between this coaching staff from top to bottom of what we've had previous years. I mean, you go back to that Ryan Nielsen year and we were in week 15 talking about the same exact alignment issues and missed tackles and all of that stuff. And last year, maybe in the first half, certain things we were, whether it was penalties on offense or, drops on offense or defensively, some things, they broke things down and they fixed it. It wasn't just like, this is what they are. And so that is very encouraging to me when it comes to this coaching staff, not even like directly for players, but overall what they do when something's not working, they're able to actually go fix it.
Adjust.
Yeah. And look, they coach them hard and it's attention to detail.
And I like that Combs said that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all those like the little things, that attention to detail. Make sure your feet are in the right spot, your hands, you're always in balance. Your feet are underneath you. You don't get too wide when you're getting off, to make a hit and that kind of thing. He like gets on the ground, Coach Tem does. He's smacking the ground and he's all fire. I can watch him and Cam together. Like they're all the energy you need, but that is coming from the top down. Hey man, whatever the style is, we're coaching you hard and we expect this. And really, I was just thinking about when you were talking. So a lot of defenses today play one gap, right? So you have a gap. So you do have to be really disciplined to that gap. When you're two gapping, you can, make a move like and take a guess and still make a play. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where it's not as like
make the decision
like
go.
So strict. You gotta be there. Like what if he comes back and you're not there? That kind of stuff. Yeah. Ours was always like, hey, secure it and then just go to the ball. Forget about the gap after that. But with a two gap, you can, you try to make the guy miss, you start outside, come underneath. The back does his thing, then the lineman doesn't always see the back. You can make him, kind of not have to deal with him so much. You know what I mean? But in that one gap, you do have to be very disciplined in that gap. And I think that's where that attention to detail is really at. Because, and I can remember, I'll never forget my first year at the Jags. Kelvin Pritchard was a defensive tackle. Massive human being, defensive tackle. He could throw the weights around. He walked on his toes. He was a first-round pick out of Mississippi State. And he didn't like young guys until he made the team. So the whole camp, he'd barely talk to you. Like when he go by you in the hallways, just because you wouldn't even look at him. Like, all right, whatever. And anyway, you start making plays. You start, things happening. And I was in, I got blocked I was in the wrong gap. And man, it was in practice. He snapped at me. He goes, yo, you're supposed to be right here. If I'm right here, you got to be right here. I was like, all right. I'll be there. But it was just that kind of discipline type of thing. So I think that goes on even more so today. And then the coverages are more intricate. The stunts are probably a little bit more intricate. They still have the old school stuff that we did, but, it gets more complex. The coverage is definitely more complex. Yeah. You know what I mean? So attention to detail, you can't screw up. It's as simple as, holding the force on the outside. You get walled in, you don't have the force. You just screwed up the whole defense, like your job. So what's the point? Well, maybe your outside foot was too far in, or you didn't have that leverage with your hand underneath his elbow, and whatever it may be, that technique. So that kind of stuff, that if you don't take care of it, adds up to be big problems.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. And then they celebrate them hard, which I like. I think that's really important. If you're going to be hard on somebody, you should celebrate them just as hard.
It's funny. The defense celebrates one another very loudly.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Anytime they make a play. Like today, Buster Brown got the interception off Nick Mullins. Great pick. And the entire defense celebrates.
Yeah.
On offense, only when there's a touchdown, which Trevor threw 3 today, only the starters that are on the field at that moment are the ones celebrating. The entire rest of the offense doesn't go crazy. Like where the defense, they're all
wild.
go nuts.
Yeah. Well, during the game, they'll run to them, right? Because they know they're going to the sideline.
Yeah.
But during camp, they're just going back to another play. So the linemen are like, I'm not going down here. I'm preserving my energy.
That's too much work for me. From the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010 if you want to get in on the conversation. One person said, I was impressed with number 58 on defense this morning. That would be Zach Durfee. And we mentioned him. BJ Green, Zach Durfee. Dennis Gardeck would have been a sack today, too. I would say if you're looking at today's mock game, I would say the offensive line as a whole probably got like a D, and the defensive line as a whole, I would say with starters and backups, I would say they got probably like an A.
Yeah,
that's how I would have.
Yeah, it was pretty dominant.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna. I want to say it was because I was trying to see the play, and I think it was Kenny H. Lovely, who almost got the pick off of Trevor in the end zone.
That was him in the inside?
I'm pretty sure it was him.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if you were standing behind and you could have had a better view. But there was the one where it hit him in the hands, it just dropped down on the ground. And but even that, the moments when you're talking about the secondary, the deep in the secondary have been making plays throughout camp. And that's what it makes me so exciting to see the corners and the safeties the way that they've been playing for the majority of the time, because there's just different names you could list throughout camp and then throughout today that all made big plays. A Husky being one of those two.
Husky as well. That he missed that throw. He had him. Yeah. If he makes that one, then he had a great day. You know what I mean? Those are the ones where, because look, he made some really good throws, Trevor did.
Yes.
He made some bad throws, too.
Yeah, there was a few sails, a batted pass. Those are the ones you don't really want to see.
And fans, today was some of their first times to be out there. I think some were alarmed by the sleeve that Trevor had on his arm.
Yeah. Someone messaged me saying, why the sling? I'm like, it wasn't a sling.
It's just a sling. Not a sling. And he's been wearing it for the past few days.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's not injury related. It's just something he wants.
The one that H. Lovely dropped, it was just thrown inside and late, and it just hung up in the air. You got that timing. I think they had it in the OTAs. Isn't it wild how during the OTAs we saw a lot of deep connections, a lot of deep throws. Now we're seeing intermediate. 18, 20 yards, dig routes, out routes, all that. Those look
he got
great.
Jacoby in the middle a couple times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like those ones are.
He had some nice throws, like you said.
He's had
Brian
really
Thomas
good
Jr.
throws. Yeah, absolutely.
But maybe in OTAs because there's less defense.
No, and you don't have all day long to sit back and throw it.
Right.
They're coming at you, so you got to make that move. But if he hits that one, that would have been right in front of the fans too.
Yeah.
And he had him. And Brian had a step on him.
I was joking because NFL Network was there, and I was like, great. One of the days that the Jags passing offense doesn't really connect, that's what they're going to be discussing. So that national respect that we were waiting for, it ain't
against
coming.
the twos. Also, that's going to be the conversation.
That's true.
Although I don't even know if NFL Network knows who's
that.
the ones in the twos.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure if you're not seeing like Foye and Josh and all of those guys,
But
for sure.
Josh was sidelined, so I was like, maybe they don't even know.
Now the quick slant to Parker when they went heavy personnel and he faked the run and came right back. That was a perfect throw.
Well, Parker was great today.
Parker was great.
He was so good.
Parker's always great.
Yeah,
That's part of the problem as far as a lack of contract extension to this point. All right, I want people to hear a comment from Liam Coen, a comment from Jeff Logman, from Tony Baselli, and Parker Washington. So let's get to all that when we return. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts. Helmets and Heels from the Tom Bush family of dealership studio.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trust Line Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Ken Rimley want to thank all the top real estate agents and builders who refer us business every day. Thinking about buying or building a new home? At Trust Line Mortgage, we're here to make the mortgage process simple, clear, and stress-free. That's why First Coast residents have trusted us for more than 37 years. Since 1989, Trust Line Mortgage has been your local mortgage company dedicated to personal service. Real people, real conversations, and real solutions. Whether you're looking for a conventional, VA, FHA, or construction loan, Trustline Mortgage brings over 4 decades of experience to help you. And did I mention we offer the most competitive jumbo rates in Florida? If you're ready to buy, build, refinance, or simply explore your options, call Trustline Mortgage today at 904-381-LOAN or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS 331480. Allen Tire, NMLS 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS 246445.
It's a Helmets and Heels
Fountain Iron Associates
Friday.
Jaguars fans, grab your passport. Open and fund a new Everbank Performance account for your chance to win the Everbank London Getaway Experience. One winner gets round-trip airfare for 2, 4 nights hotel, and 2 tickets to the Jags game in London this October. Start your journey today at everbank.com/London. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 6/29 to 8/27/26. Get official rules and details at everbank.com/London Rules. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A. Member FDIC.
You can actually win a side-by-side at Best Bet St. Augustine?
You know it. Only at Best Bet. The more you play, the more chances you have to win.
Poker, great food and drinks, and a chance to drive home in that side-by-side?
That's what all the buzz is about.
Play your favorite poker and table games at Best Bet St. Augustine for your chance to win an incredible side-by-side. Earn entries now through August 7th. Grand prize giveaway happens August 8th.
Now this just got serious.
Get in the action. Feel the excitement at Best Bet St. Augustine. Details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
You know, it's funny. Most of us don't think about our water heater until it's too late. So here's a little bonus from our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. During August, when you schedule any plumbing service, they'll include a free water heater inspection while they're already at your home. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest advice from a company that's built its reputation on doing things the right way. That's the Duck Duck standard. When you're stuck, call Duck Duck Rooter, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Fresh off of the practice fields, the Jacksonville Jaguars completed day 8 of training camp, and we saw a ton of good stuff. We'll keep talking about it throughout the show, of course. But now I want to let you hear from some of the key principles when it comes to your Jacksonville Jaguars. Liam Coen met with media post the mock game today, and here's what he saw in that scrimmage.
Like to see us execute some of the screens better, which is an area that we're, continuously trying to work on. But I thought we had some good runs. I thought the guys ran hard. It's hard to tell in this setting because we're not tackling, right? But, it was nice to see, Parker, Jacoby, BT make some plays and, just getting the guys trying to spread it around a little bit and just go execute.
Once an offensive coordinator, always an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Didn't mention a single defensive player in that answer. Now, he goes on to be asked about some of the young guys in a BJ Green and Zach Durfee, and he talked about how great they looked, not just against the pass, but also against the run. So he did get there. But I just found it funny. He's so focused
like, I don't want to talk about them right now.
Yeah.
And the screens need to improve.
Yeah.
But that one reverse to Travis Hunter, that was spicy.
Yeah, that was. But we're like that, too. Like, if the offense is bad, they were like, we're not good, we can't. You know, although the defense
and the fans
crushed
only
them.
cheer when the offense
says something.
scores. Like, they didn't cheer when Buster
or
got
a
the pick.
Or a pick.
They did cheer. I did hear him cheering for the picks, but it's not just like and it's obviously harder to tell like what would be sack or what would be whatever maybe. But you also you probably have this little bit of like, you don't want Trevor getting sacked, so you're like, good job. But
and
like,
the pick
as a
was
fan
on the
base,
opposite field, like opposite end zone, so they also probably couldn't see that as easily.
I definitely heard a group of them like saying, and even I heard a Buster, so there was some cheering for him.
That was quite the pick. He got way up there, man. That was
great.
It was right in front of me. It was very impressive.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's hear from Jeff Logman. We've talked so much about the offensive line, and rightfully so, because we're not exactly sure what the starting offensive line will look like. Well, here's Jeff, and he believes there is a legit competition at center.
And then I think there's a legitimate center competition as well. I think Jonah Monheim has traits that are superior to Robert Hainsey, but then Robert Hainsey has some traits that are superior to Jonah Monheim. But I think that's a legitimate competition as well. Monheim is stronger. Monheim is a guy that you feel good about locking. Like, put it this way. If I'm getting ready to face Devon Hamilton, I want to run the football. Do I want Hainsey blocking or do I want Monheim blocking? I'm going to take Monheim. Okay? He's got more power. He's got more movement. But if I want to have the comfort with my quarterback, the leadership, okay, getting the calls correct every time, just because of the experience, I'm going to go with Hainsey. But I think that's a legitimate competition there as well.
That's interesting. I like it. You know, I've been hoping for that. You know, first of all, I don't think Monheim could take Devon by himself either.
No.
Just for the record, he may be stronger than Hainsey in that regard, but that's a tough order for anybody to deal with. The guard will help you out with that. I like that. You know, look, if they feel confident, like when you can play center and guard, that means you're a mauler and you're athletic enough to play center. So that's a great combination. So if I need you at guard, I know you're going to be mean and tough and thick and strong. And that if I need you at center, I know I'm going to need you, be more athletic, powerful, of course, and that kind of thing. As far as the cerebral, I mean, I'd rather have the power. You got a QB that's going to help with the line calls as well.
Yeah. And it's year 2 versus year 1.
Right,
Hainsey was so great year 1. I'm not saying Hainsey's not going to be the starting center. He very well may be. But year 1, Hainsey was so incredibly important because he'd already been in Liam Coen's system with the Tampa Bay Bucks. So he needed to be able to help his quarterback and the other offensive linemen.
Which makes him a bridge.
Right.
Potentially.
Correct.
So is the bridge a year? Or is it 2 years? Are you ready for Monheim to take over?
But I would like to see Monheim take snaps at center today with the ones, or for me to believe that there was a true competition.
Right. And that's what, I mean, the whole conversation going back to last summer was that Liam Coen did bench Hainsey for the rookie and Barch, and we were like, how quick does that happen here? Sorry, Barton. Yeah. How quickly does that happen here? And so, obviously throughout the year, they were comfortable with Hainsey being out there, but does that happen this year? And to your point, I don't know if I've quite seen the full takeover. We've talked about Monheim and Milam both at moments. We're like, oh, okay, these guys are looking good at moments, but I do think the comfortability is really important for Liam. There's a reason that he brings in guys like Chris Rodriguez and Hainsey's and guys that are familiar with the system and can do some of the things that his offenses already do. And I do think that was an important thing last year because there was already so much learning last year of the playbook and mechanics and trying to do all of that stuff. And so now this year you can kind of look at it as more of a bridge than you probably could last year. And ideally the guys you draft, you sign and you build them and they're in front of Trevor for years to come. Like that's ideal. So if you're looking at a future where it's, an Anton and a Pregnon and a Cole Van Lanen and a Monheim and a Milam, that would be fantastic if that's the future of your offensive line. That's what I think every team would love to do. So it will be fun to me to see that at least throughout the season. Is there a point if, let's say, Hainsey is starting week 1, which I think most of us at this point would say that, around week 5, 6, if it's not looking, do they start testing some waters with some other things? And that's what will be cool to look at.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, first of all, the guards were depleted, right? So you kind of needed Monheim at guard. So that's why he probably didn't get a lot of center snaps. when he plays guard, to me, that shows that he can be a mauler, like that kind of guy. I think the cerebral part, I mean, he can't be a dummy, right? He went to USC. Aren't they like really smart out there or something? No, I'm just kidding. But he's in his second
Smart
year.
at football.
Look, let's Hainsey had Liam for a year. You know what I mean? It's not like he had Canales before that.
Right.
So he only had, in Tampa, I mean.
Yeah.
In Tampa.
Yeah, so he's 2 years in the system.
And they brought him here because of the reason that he knew Liam's system better than somebody being drafted or somebody that wasn't in the system.
Yeah.
So let's bring him. We like him. We're familiar with him. He likes football. He's passionate, all that kind of stuff.
But is he powerful enough?
Is he what we want at center?
Right.
Where's the stink? It can't just be the back. We know this. It's not just the guards. It's all of it. It's that Bermuda Triangle. It's the back and those two guards in the center. That's the stink.
The run game did
How
get lost.
are we fixing it?
That's why it's the Bermuda Triangle.
What's that? Yeah. Good one. Good one. But, Pregnon, he's a different kind of guard.
Yep.
Now he's hurt. Milam's shown that he can play guard or tackle. So
hopefully not hurt.
I really like him.
Yeah, hopefully
banged up, I mean. Banged
Tomorrow's
up.
a walkthrough for just 45 minutes. So any of those types of injuries, I'm sure those guys will still be out there doing the walkthrough. And then Sunday, I'm imagining, is the next padded practice. Liam said that earlier today, but he also was like, I think. So sometimes you need your schedule right in front of you. But my guess is Sunday's a padded practice because he said they are definitely having one more before they go to New Orleans to face the Saints.
Well, I wonder if, Sunday is to make sure we got the right depth chart going to the New Orleans Saints. Maybe that's you know what I mean? Like, let's have another hard physical day. And if we got any guys that we're wondering about, let's put them through the rigor for the day. And then let's evaluate and see how we want to go against New Orleans.
Yep.
They've got to,
time's ticking.
Yeah, that's the next. And that means something. When they start putting out, even in practice, when the first team goes out, it means something. Who's out there with the first team?
Yeah,
it sure
being
does.
First in line for the individual drills, I think means something.
What's that?
Being first in line in individual drills.
No, that just means you want to be the leader.
Okay.
That's not a pecking order of depth chart. You know what I mean? But
it just seems like the guys that start off first in those drills are usually the ones. It's always like a Teuton's first, and then.
Yeah, it's more just, I think most guys don't. They don't, whatever. Some guys rather go last. Chris Rodriguez was going last, so he might. But when they call out, first team defense, first team offense. So it'll be interesting. The one thing that look, Milam and Monheim did not get switched out at all.
Yeah.
Once they made that move. They were the right guard and the right tackle for the remainder of the mock game. That means something. Maybe it's just a look. Maybe it's just, let's see. Look, let's see them finish. It's getting hot out here. People are getting tired.
Because they mixed it up a bunch yesterday when it comes to the offensive line, especially that right side. All right, more to do on the other side. Let you hear a few more comments from Baselli and Parker, Washington. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
From the Tom Bush family of dealership studios.
Helmets and heels.
Every tackle, basket, and crack of the bat. Your radio home for play-by-play is 1010XL.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
Helmets and Heels Friday
is brightened by Bowden Iron Associates.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, soccer fans, Sporting Jacks is giving away a new Honda Accord Saturday, 8:15. Sporting Jacks men take on Indy 11 at 7 on Hodges Field at UNF. Just be there. Someone will win a new car from Honda at the Avenues and Sporting Jacks. Visit sportingjacks.com today.
Hey guys, Taylor Doll here of Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for a remix on the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back for a limited time only this summer. It's a flavorful spin on a familiar favorite, created with Chick-fil-A chicken, a drizzle of honey, pickled jalapenos, and a spread of savory pimento cheese. The sandwich combines your favorite flavors with a new twist, and it's available for a limited time only, so stop by and enjoy the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich at Chick-fil-A today.
Rock the Country, a festival for the people. Coming to the Florida Horse Park in Ocala, Florida, August 28th and 29th, 2026, with Brooks and Dunn, and Blake Shelton, John Party, plus Lauren Alina, Shenandoah, Mark Chestnut, and many more. Get your tickets now at rockthecountry.com.
We have big rolls of carpet, hardwood too, laminates, hot area rugs for you. At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Our prices are low, 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 low.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Don't delay, we'll put it in next day.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man. Y'all come see us now, you hear? At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Visit one of our mega flooring stores or go to carpetman.biz or
call 838-6705. The Carpet Man.
I'm local attorney Rick Alexander. In my 30 years practicing law, I've learned you never want to choose money over health. It's always a bad deal. Unfortunately, when someone screws up and you get hurt, that choice is gone. Your only choice is whether you face the future with a lawyer or without one. If you're hurt because somebody screwed up, call me at the practice. The Alexander Law Practice, 904-400-6600, or alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Happy Friday, everybody. The week just rolling right into the weekend. And Tony Baselli was on Jaguars Today yesterday. And the conversation that has permeated through the offseason has been about these extensions, right? The contract extensions for certain individuals. Britton Strange got paid. Trayvon Walker got paid. We expected maybe Parker Washington to get paid before training camp. But then we started to see all of these receivers get these massive deals as recently, right, as Zay Flowers and Christian Watson before that. And so you wonder, did the Jaguars maybe wait a little too long? Well, Tony Baselli was asked about Parker Washington and the contract situation.
Parker is what we're looking for as far as a guy that we value, not just because of who he is on the field, who he is as an individual, extremely competitive. And Parker believes in himself that he's that guy. We believe a lot in Parker that he's that guy and what he did. Again, we had a lot of guys, we start coming out of the bye that just took their game to another level. And you look at the last half of the last year, what Parker did, it's like, I don't want to say he surprised me, but it's because you knew the talent was there. You saw it in the punt returns in the first half of the year, what he could do with the ball in his hand. But he just kept on getting better and better. He's one of the hardest workers we have in this team, one of the first guys in the building, really is a pro. And so, obviously, we want those guys. It's also the NFL where you have to make decisions and you work with guys. And all I can say on the contract situation, if you've been out here, no noise from either side about any issues or anything else.
So, yeah, obviously Parker has not publicly complained about anything. He's going to let his agent handle it and everything like that.
Yeah, Parker is one of the true, and we've talked about this in the sense of on the football field, one of those guys, anytime you need him, he's stepped in. You talk about injuries start to pile up. Parker Washington's like, no worries, I'm here. You talk about a guy like Gabe Davis didn't work out a couple years ago. Parker Washington had that second half he did. You talk about when BTJ maybe had moments last year that he wasn't playing the way you wanted pre-Jacoby, and Parker starts, playing to the higher level. He always has been De'Ami Brown. You don't get anything out of him pretty much for that whole season. So he's always been that guy. We're coming into every season. He's like, okay, wide receiver 3-4. And then by the end of the year, you're like, he should be wide receiver 2. And to me, that's one of the easiest things to identify at this point in time. How many years does Parker have to come out and be like, when I'm asked to do it, I do it. And then I have to go back down on the depth chart again. And then I get to prove myself again every year. And he's never complained about that. We saw him talking about his schedule, waking up at 4 whatever.
He's in the building before 5 a.m.
Yeah. He's like, I leave at 4:50. I'm like, okay, this is you walk very fast over to the stadium. But so all of those things pile up. And we were talking about this off air before the show, Lauren, in the sense of he is one of those weird middle where you don't see it a whole lot, because I feel like in the NFL a lot of times you live in this world where it's like, this guy 100% deserves this contract, no doubt, like give it to him, pay him, I don't care what you pay him. And then there's this other side where it's kind of like, he was overpaid, I don't really totally agree with that, but whatever, it's like the NFL and that's what the world we live in. Parker's in this middle to where it's like you've seen him progress every single year. His targets, his receptions, his yardage, his touchdowns, every single year has improved throughout his 3 years so far in the NFL. And that's with multiple offensive play callers. That's with a quarterback who has had a roller coaster of the last few years, good moments and bad moments. That's with new offensive weapons constantly surrounding him. That's with offensive linemen that are different. So there's so many things, and he's still continued to grow every single year. And I think you have to pay that person. You have to pay that person that you're like, he's already done this, so expect that next leap this year. And that's where my mind goes with it.
But how much?
and that's where it goes, because I mean, how much he's asking for, I don't know. There's usually a middle ground. The agent's probably up here, and the Jags are like, we feel like more like this. But you paid Jacoby 20, and Parker's like, I'm younger. I've only been doing this for 3 years, and I could be that. And so that's where you have to try and evaluate.
Yeah. I mean, look, if they haven't found a deal so far, they're apart on number, the value. Where's the value? I don't know. Here's the thing. So you could say like, well, if I had the opportunities, could I be, right? So take Zay Flowers, take the comparison. Right now you say, no, there's no comparison. The production's nowhere near each other. And Zay just got paid $35 a year. So you're not near that. Now the argument there is, well, if I was on another team and we didn't have two other, we just had a tight end and
you were
a few
getting
running
118 targets.
Yeah, then
what does that look like?
Maybe I could, but that's not the reality. So, at least with us. So then it comes down to, well, okay, here's where we value you at, and he may say, well, I could be Zay Flowers.
Yeah,
could he be? What do you think? Could if in the right opportunity, not here, it's not going to happen here, but in the right opportunity, could Parker Washington have the same production as Zay Flowers?
My answer is yes. I think they had the same amount of touchdowns last year. That's one thing that you can look at. And you were talking about, he had, I think, so 95 targets for Parker last year, 118 for Zay. So if you're telling me you're throwing the ball 20 more times to Parker, you don't think you'd get another 200 yards out of him? I feel like, and that's where that argument comes out. But the thing with this roster and the way that it's been built is it's almost hard to it's almost unfair. And I wonder if Parker is looking at that in a sense of like, look, that we're going to win a lot of football games, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. But if it's BT and Jacoby and Travis and Strange and Koziel and me, and like how much am I realistically going to get, and is that fair to base my contract off of that, because you have 7 guys that you have to spread the ball between?
You can't base it off what if.
Yeah.
Like it's what you are for us right now, and that's what. And look, it isn't fair, because go back to Baltimore. What are they? They've got Henry, they got Lamar, they got a couple tight ends, and they got Zay Flowers, and he's one of the main cogs.
He was over 30% of their yards.
Right. So could Parker be sitting there going, well, I'm not going to get it here, but what if I could get it elsewhere? And then I am that guy, and I am going to command that kind of money.
And then other teams are saying, I'm not going to pay someone that's probably more of a wide receiver 2, I'm not going to pay that person over $25 million a year. That's not what we're going to pay wide receiver 1s that amount, right? But we're not going to pay that second wide receiver that type of money. And the Lions have 2 highly paid wide receivers, and Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
There's multiple, actually.
Yeah, you can do it, but this regime may decide that that's just not, that type of money is not where they are, when they're also looking to the future where they may have to pay Brian Thomas Jr. wide receiver 1 money. They may have to pay Travis Hunter all sorts of money. And
there's a lot
of
free agents on this roster coming up.
It's going to be an interesting way it goes.
And we could be wrong. Maybe tomorrow an extension gets done and they've met in the middle and we see a figure of a $23 million a year. But Pete Prisco was on the Frangie show yesterday and said that he thinks Parker Washington should take 17, 18 million per year.
That's half a Zay-Fly.
Yeah.
Right. But
there would be 30 wide receivers paid more than Parker Washington.
You never know what happens. That's Prisco's thing. You don't know what happens.
True.
And here's guaranteed money.
Take the money and
you
run.
can take your 6th round pick. You haven't made a bunch of money yet. Take this now. You can get another contract
maybe
later,
2 years. Give me 2 years that, and I'd say okay. But if I'm Parker, I'm not.
That's what's going to be fascinating.
Taking half would be tough. I mean, he's not half the player. So
no, definitely not.
Take half
we'll hear a comment from Parker on the other side. Also, Taylor's Tangent. You are listening to Helmets and Heels 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Tom Bush family of dealership studio on Helmets and Heels.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder and magic. But times change.
Get your wonder and magic on 1010XL.
Like many football fans in Jacksonville, I love defense. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett, and I'm here to tell you that defense in the courtroom is important as well. That's because penalties for DUI are much more serious than penalties on the gridiron. If you or someone you know is facing a DUI, call us for a free case analysis now. Know before you blow 858-9818. Put my more than 20 years of experience to work for you. Office is Jacksonville, serving all surrounding counties. Call 858-9818 or go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com.
Bowden Iron Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
If replacing those old windows has been on your someday list, well, this is the perfect time to make it happen with the end of summer sale at Renewal by Anderson. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer ends August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Life happens every day, and sometimes it gets in the way. That's why 1010XL makes it easy to listen to your favorites. If you missed it, get it on demand.
At 1010XL.com.
Channeled by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
There's a simpler and easier way to get your construction permits. PermitRockstar.com. PermitRockstar.com has a team of rock stars. Construction rock stars that fight the permit battle for you. The Permit Rockstar platform can virtually automate and submit your permit paperwork, eliminating mistakes. And their private provider can save you weeks on plan reviews and virtual inspections. Get your permits faster. PermitRockstar.com. Stop waiting on permits and get back to building. PermitRockstar.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With 0 out of pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Summertime is here, and that means it's grilling season. Now, before you overpay at the big box stores, make a stop at Houston's Meat Company on Main Street in Jacksonville. For more than 50 years, Houston's has been Jacksonville's local butcher shop, serving up quality meats, incredible prices, and the kind of service you just can't find at the grocery chain. Steaks, burgers, chicken, ribs, whatever's on the grill this weekend, Houston's has you covered. Shop local, grill better. Follow Houston's Meats on social for updated weekly specials.
I'm Olivia Brooks with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Trevor Lawrence spoke with The Drill this morning about team chemistry, confidence heading into the new season, and his unique positioning as quarterback. You can watch the full interview on 1010XL's YouTube channel. Today, the Jags held their annual teal and white scrimmage at training camp. The team showed off the progress they've made after 2 weeks of practice, with plenty of athletic plays on both sides of the ball. Stay with 1010XL for complete Jags coverage as the countdown to the season continues. It's 92 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
I'm letting go.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. People are wondering if RJ Saunders is thinking that Parker Washington won't be here by playing this song. I'm letting go from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Parker has never played against the number one corner every week. Another person says he's not a number one wide receiver. He'll probably leave Jacksonville after the season. Someone else will pay him. We were looking at the wide receiver contracts off air, and it looks like there's a ton of guys that obviously make huge amounts of money in the super high up range that we've talked about: Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jamar Chase, Drake London, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. All those guys make a ton of money. But in that range of like the $25 million per year for the wide receivers, there's one person, Devonta Smith, that makes right at exactly $25 million per year, and then several around that $23 million mark in a Christian Watson, a Cortland Sutton, Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin. All those guys make just ahead of Jacoby Myers' money. And so this whole conversation, I think, is fascinating because what is he? What will he become? And what do the Jaguars, where is the Jaguars' value with him right now?
Well, and look, last year was his breakout year. I mean, we've known him to get better every year, but realistically, I mean, the 95 targets is almost double than he's ever had, right? I mean, his touchdowns, 5 or most of he's ever had, yards per catch at 14.6, more than he's ever had, 847 in yards, 850. That's more than double than he's ever had, right?
Yeah.
Do it again, and you have a really good argument. But
and we'll pay you.
You are paying what you expect him to be.
Yeah, the projection.
I think the big problem is, though, where, look, I'm just as good as these guys, and he may be, but we don't use you that way.
Right.
So I can't give you,
you can't justify that.
I was in the system like theirs, you'd give it to me, but I'm not, so you can't, and that's where the player's like, and I agree with the player. Players like, well, no, I'm just as good as that. Let's go put up their stats next to mine. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I do need another year, but you've seen how me grow every year. You don't expect me to do that again? Right. And I really didn't come on until late in the year.
Yeah.
That's the argument. But they're sitting there going, well, maybe they're going, the value isn't what it is. It's not the same.
You're probably going to have 700 yards again or 800
probably
yards
have the same kind of year, which is
5
a great
touchdowns.
year.
Yeah.
Do that again, and maybe you're up to that 25 million range. But right now, that's
right. The Jacoby contract, I feel like, is what's tricky. Also, not just what players or wide receivers are getting paid around the league, but also the Jacoby contract, the 3 years, $20 million. You've now invested in one of your wide receivers.
Yeah,
$20 million a year, $60 million overall. I feel like if they hadn't paid Jacoby quite that much, maybe it'd be a little easier to pay Parker, but Parker's going to want more than what Jacoby got, which
and he should.
He doesn't have the stats that Jacoby has, but like you said, he's younger.
Yeah, he's younger, and I think that when you obviously the contracts go up also. So if you signed Parker last offseason, which that's not even going to be a conversation, but hypothetically it would probably look a little different. We talk about quarterback contracts. You sign a quarterback right now, and by the time that the next group of quarterbacks start getting their contracts are getting talked about in January, February, it's going to be more. That's just naturally what happens. The cap goes up every single year. We've seen that happen. So the number that you're paying each of these guys. So if a wide receiver signed their contract 2 years ago, that is going to look different. The value of that was going to be, that's part of the Trevor Lawrence criticism when he got his contract, was he was getting paid more than the same. It was like him and Joe Burrow, and everybody was like, what did Trevor do to deserve Joe Burrow money? The difference is Joe Burrow had already been paid previous to that, and Trevor's was that new round of contracts from these. Yeah, that was the market at the time.
And it didn't fully take effect. That $55 million per year didn't take effect right away, but of course that's all people can
the
see.
number
So,
you see.
I think collectively we love Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Love what he
Want
does.
him here.
He is probably Trevor's favorite target, I would say, at this point in time, through OTAs and training camp and then towards the end of last season, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know that this regime will pay each receiver that much money. You can't pay 3 guys and then again Travis Hunter in the mix eventually down the road.
And it is interesting, the comment about he's been up against some really good corners in the NFL, by the way.
Yeah.
In 2024, he had over 100 yards against Houston, and Houston second, defense in general you talk about. And that was when everything was kind of there was a lot of injuries going on and things were weird. And Parker had over 100 yards in that game against Houston. And so he's played some really good secondaries and really good corners. And so that's part of it too. It's not always when you go into a game and it's their number one corner is only on Brian Thomas or their number one. That's not how it works. So there's definitely been moments where Parker's shown against some really good players.
Okay, take money out of it right now. Okay, let's compare Parker Washington to other wide receivers in the league. Who would you compare him to? Would you compare him to a Devontae Smith? Would you compare Would you compare him to a Jaden Waddle?
I would say those guys are better. I would, to me, the most similar comparison because of what they do as a receiver and in the return game would be Rashid Shaheed, who I think might be slightly faster than Parker, but it doesn't matter.
He doesn't do as much in a pass game, though, does he?
Because JSN has 40% more of their yards.
Yeah.
But I think given more of an opportunity, I liked Shaheed when he was with the Saints before that. And Rashid Shaheed, I know you said take the money out, but he's making 17. So he just got paid this offseason. He's making $17 million per year.
So Devontae Smith, and it's just 1 year, had 77 catches for 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns last year.
I think Parker can be that, is where my head is.
I mean, that's close.
It's very close. It's a couple hundred away, and Parker had more touchdown. Had one more touchdown than that.
Jalen Waddle had 6.
Devontae had less targets, so more yards per catch, but
Jalen had 910 yards, 14.2, 6 touch. I mean, that's what the player's saying. Look, these are that's what you do. You look around the league, you be like, okay, I'm as good as him. Here's my stats. Here's his stats.
And
I know we're in a system,
but it's not all about stats, obviously, either, because this regime knows that there are moments that Trevor didn't see him or he missed him, right? The ball wasn't thrown properly, what have you. They know when Parker would have caught the ball, right? And so because they know this offense. And it's hard to do that for other teams.
And I do think the difference of approach into the season, the Eagles are going into their season saying A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith last year were those are your 2 wide receivers that you're going to throw the ball to. The Jaguars were going into the season last year more so saying a Brian Thomas Jr. and De'Ami Brown were supposed to be the 2 guys that you were going to. And then you had to pivot away from that and you started using Parker later in the year. If you entered last season and said Parker and BT are your number 1 and number 2 and you're going to throw them the ball, he didn't get a single target the first week of the season last year, and then it was only 5 the next week. Then he had 11 against Houston, but then it was 2, 3, 4. Then you started getting into that chunk where you're getting Parker the ball. If you enter a season and your number 2 wide receiver is your number 2 wide receiver, and that's the conversation, that's the difference with some of these other guys. You talk about a Waddle. You were going into the year knowing that it was going to be Tyreek and Waddle. That's the conversation. Parker's never had that advantage here. It's always been the number 3 wide receiver, and he's worked his way into the offense somehow.
Is he number 2 right now?
For me, yes, but it is hard. It's hard. Again, you're having that conversation where maybe, and
that's why they haven't found some ground.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because they're having these things.
Yeah,
too.
I'd like to ask that question to Trevor Lawrence, who, by the way, joined the drill this morning. If you missed it, go back and watch and listen. But yeah, Trevor, who's your favorite target? Is it Parker? That's what it seems like.
Yeah, it feels like it right now.
And
the end of the year
Brian
it did,
Thomas?
and now it does.
Right. Then is it Brian Thomas or is it Jacoby? He might say like, well, Jacoby and I just have that chemistry
And
naturally.
quickly they had
and then,
it.
get to Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
All
He
right.
made some good throws to BT today.
He did.
Good connections.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll pivot from Parker Washington and get it
We
to
love you,
Taylor's
Parker.
tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So for Taylor's Tangent today, I'm going to be talking about Parker. I'm just kidding. It is a little bit, it's funny because it actually does have to tie a little bit into that. It was just funny because I saw a contract. We just saw Bijan Robinson get paid recently. And the contracts that they've had this offseason, the Falcons paid Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, and then also one their left guard, Matthew Bergeron. They've paid all those guys a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the Falcons are out there dishing out their contracts to all of these players drafted by a general manager who they fired this last offseason, by the way. But it made me think in the sense because I saw a tweet saying that, like, oh, imagine that you're giving all of these big contracts to players of this GM that you said wasn't good enough, that signed all of these players. And I was like, it's a little bit Jacksonville right now in the sense of, look, I was fully on the get rid of Trent Baalke, and I think there's other things to that. You obviously know he could hit on. There were draft picks that he clearly hit on, and we're talking about a lot of those now. You're talking about Brenton Strange. You're going to talk Trayvon Walker, and granted we know the Aiden Hutchinson, but you still paid Trayvon. You're wanting to pay Parker. You just paid Strange. You're going to be talking about Antonio Johnson last year. Anton Harrison. Buster Brown just got drafted. Got paid this offseason. So I read that, and I'm like, kind of interesting because it is very similar here in the sense of, number one, it shows that how much coaching matters. And we've talked about that to, all sorts of levels here of how much Coach Campanelli and Coach Liam Coen have changed things here because a lot of these players have been here. And there's a few guys that since, last year and this year have brought in, and they have a Travis Hunter going to be the big one. Jordan Lewis is another one that you're talking about. These guys that have shifted things in just the last couple years of some of the expectations. But there's a lot of guys right now that you're wanting to pay this offseason or wanting to pay moving up. We're talking about a Parker and an Antonio coming up that Trent Baalke brought in here. And so it's just wild sometimes to think about that, how a general manager, and that also sometimes take a step back and look at all the things a general manager has to do when it comes to contracts and drafting and finding the right coaches. Maybe that was the bigger hit on Trent Baalke than anything, not being able to find the coach to coach the players that you want. He also focused so much on long arms and all the measurables that stuff was getting annoying. But it just kind of made me chuckle because it was a Falcons fan that was like, oh, funny, we fired our general manager, but we want to keep and pay all his players that he drafted. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like Jacksonville right now too.
Yeah, well, and look, I mean, players aside, he had the wrong coach.
Yeah.
You look at these players today, they are thriving under what? This accountability machine that Liam Coen has put together with Tony and James.
And the hard coaching.
I mean, that's the hard coaching. Doug wasn't like that. He was not like that.
No.
I mean, every time it was, we'll get to it next week. Yeah, we'll fix it next week. Yeah, we'll do it. It was never like any sense of urgency to do anything. It sounds like these players were just clamoring for, man, give me somebody that's going to lead me and make me do the hard stuff, and I know I'm going to celebrate when it's all said and done. So the GM, it's not just the players, it's the coach as well.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't working early, and granted, they had success, it's hard.
One year.
Why did it go south? Why did it all of a sudden go south?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, here, and by the way, we were, 8-3 in the second year? And it all went crap. It all just went downhill.
Christian Kirk was injured against
the
Bengals.
He got hurt,
and,
just went downhill from there.
In the Monday Night Football game. Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
No.
Let's talk about giving away some lunch.
It's more so good we have a lot of players that you want to keep here and sign.
The GM, he did. He made a lot of good picks, but now they're being coached up the way they should have been coached up at the beginning.
Yes. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. We have free lunch for 2 to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 2, you get free lunch today.
Caller number 2, not caller number 11 in honor of
I'm not going to make you
Washington.
1 + 1 is 2. So
but I see everybody on the text line Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. There's a ton of comments. Is Parker Washington better than Romeo Doubs?
Yes.
Parker Washington is not as fast as some of the guys you guys are talking about, whether it's a Jalen Waddle, whether it's a Devonta
It's all about production.
He's one of the better ones after catch last season
He's
in the
fast and
NFL.
quick enough, man. He takes to the house on punt returns. That's fast enough.
Parker's like Cooper Kupp, one person says. It's all over the place, like I said. And so I understand if you feel like Parker Washington has to be on this team. He'll be on this team this year, and then we can reevaluate moving on from there. All right, more to do on the other side, including Lawrence Lane. It's 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels. From the Tom Bush family of dealership studio, Jeff Prosser
pitched 2 consecutive Little League championships
on the drill.
But are most likely to get slapped in his senior yearbook.
With Dan Hicken.
Once arrested for urinating on a moving vehicle, that is actually incredibly challenging.
Tell me. Weekday morning 6 to 10 on 1010XL.
Flame Broiler has a new limited time favorite, Korean short ribs. They marinate tender boneless short ribs in the Lee family authentic Korean kalbi recipe. Charbroil them for smoky flavor. Then top them with tangy sweet cucumber kimchi. Enjoy them in a bowl or on a plate. Order today in store or on the Flame Broiler app before they're gone. Flame Broiler, Korean short ribs. Limited time only. Order now on the Flame Broiler app or stop in today. But don't wait. Korean short ribs are only here for a limited time.
It's a Helmets and Heels Friday, checked by Bowden Iron Associates.
Jaguars fans, grab your passport. Open and fund a new Everbank performance account for your chance to win the Everbank London Getaway Experience. One winner gets round-trip airfare for 2, 4 nights hotel, and 2 tickets to the Jags game in London this October. Start your journey today at everbank.com/London. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 6/29 to 8/27/26. Get official rules and details at everbank.com/London Rules. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A. Member FDIC.
Get geared up for your golf weekend with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros on Brunch with the Tour.
Expect anything different?
Tuesday morning at 8:30. Teed up by North Florida Medical Centers and Clearwater Irrigation on 1010XL.
Hey, Tom McManus here for Duval Glass and Mirror. You don't have to remodel your entire home to make a big impression. Sometimes all it takes is a beautiful frameless shower, a custom-cut mirror, or just replacing that fogged, cracked, or outdated glass that's been bothering you for years. Jacksonville homeowners trust Duval Glass and Mirror for expert craftsmanship, honest service, and flawless results. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. Only one name around here for glass and mirror, and it's Duval.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
Hey, life can get a little hectic at times, and no one has time to get hurt, lost wages, injuries that not only hurt, but ones that hinder our success. If you're in this position due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. What's up, Jacksonville? Tom McManus here. Injuries suck. I know it. And if you get injured out there, check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the country with enough firepower to handle any personal injury cases that you may be dealing with. $30 billion recovered worth of firepower, that is. They make filing a claim easy and don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit pound law on your cell. Pound law, that's all.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Today's vehicles are smarter than ever, but that also means they need more precision than ever. Features like lane assist, collision warning, and adaptive cruise control all rely on cameras, sensors, part of what's called ADAS. And if those systems are even slightly off, they might not work correctly. That's why, after certain repairs, your vehicle will need ADAS calibration. At G&H Tires and Service, they have the ADAS system, so your vehicle's safety features work the way they're supposed to. Don't guess with your safety. G&H Tires and Service. Precision that protects.
At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, care starts with listening. One-on-one consultations, clear answers, and a plan built around you. Our orthopedic surgeons, sports medicine physicians, and rehabilitation specialists work together to treat injuries, manage chronic pain, and restore strength and mobility. From your first check-in to your personalized treatment plan, everything is designed to help you move forward with confidence. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. Expert care, improving lives.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
I did promise everyone that we would hear from Parker Washington, so I do want to play the clip since our conversation obviously has dominated surrounding that wide receiver. But when asked if he's focused on his contract situation, this was his answer.
That's not my focus, you know? I mean, yes, it's there and it's a conversation, but my focus is just coming out here and I need to make plays for Trevor, you know? So that's my mindset. And that's how I'm going to attack it, you know? I'm not going to step on my agent's toes. They can have those conversations. I'm just going to come out here and do my job.
And he'll get paid as long as he does that. Yeah. He'll get paid, whether it's
he'll get paid no matter what.
Correct. Yeah. Whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else. We want him to stay a Jacksonville Jaguar and stay with Brenton Strange.
Yep.
You know, and those two former Penn State guys stayed together for a long time.
The league continues to make more money. Players get 50% of it. Contracts go up every single year.
Yeah.
You know, so he's gonna, you know, as long as he stays healthy and has another really good productive year, whether they keep him here and pay him even more than he's thinking or somewhere else.
That is one of the positive things about having an agent, though. I remember when Lamar was going through his stuff, I can't imagine having to actually practice and do all your normal football stuff and then have to worry about trying to negotiate contracts. I'd very much be like, you just take this and let me know.
For sure. And it's easier, too, because you don't want to hear the negative stuff that's being said in those conversations.
Like, they're saying this, so this is why they don't want to give you this money. Right. Yeah, just let the agent come and be like, here's the number. Where do I sign?
Yeah, for sure. You want to be removed from all that. All right, my left blinker is on, so let's merge into Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
All right, so on Wednesday, I don't know if you saw this, Tom Taylor. I know you did, but a guy named Jeffrey Yan was pitching for the Mets, and after he struck out the first batter, he leapt into the air and then ended up on one knee. Literally just struck out one batter, and he did this celebration that went completely viral.
No way.
You haven't seen it? For obvious reasons.
I'm going to show you the video, Tom. You're going to be like, what the hell is he doing? That's what you're going to say.
And it went viral?
And what's even better, by the way, is the batter he struck out is like a former teammate, and they're friends.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So I guess this is his thing.
Angel Martinez was the batter.
I sent it to, I saw the clip, and I was like, what is this? And I sent it to one of my baseball friends. He was like, oh, you haven't seen him do that. He did it a lot in minor leagues, and people are wondering, like, is he going to do that in the bigs? He is.
Yes,
that was very interesting. He I don't even know how to explain it. It looks like a video game, like leaps up and then like almost does a split after strikeouts.
It was crazy.
Every strikeout he does that?
That's what people said. It's his thing.
So this was
I feel like your legs
Guardians.
would start hurting if you're striking.
You're gonna hurt
Mets
yourself.
at the Guardians was the game, and so the Mets ended up winning 6-5 in 10 innings, which is interesting. But here's the more interesting part. So Jeffrey Yan is a 29-year-old from San Rafael de Yuma in the Dominican Republic. He was originally signed in 2013 by the Los Angeles Angels as an international free agent.
Wow.
He ended up pitching for a few years, but ended up having to get Tommy John surgery. So he missed the 26 campaign before being released in 2017. He then left baseball and worked full-time in construction for 3 years.
Who is this, Blake Bortles?
Right?
Yeah.
But then he was discovered in an adult league game, like a men's league game in Arizona.
Turns like 100 miles an hour, doesn't he?
He was discovered by the Marlins in a men's league game in Arizona. He signed a minor league contract with Miami in 2021, and he reached AAA in Jacksonville for the first time in 2023. For the Jumbo Shrimp, he pitched 6 games, striking out 11 in 6 innings.
Wow.
So it all circles back to Jacksonville.
Yeah, let me see.
You got to see this video.
Bad radio, but
no, it's okay. We'll keep talking through it.
Okay.
It is absolutely
that's
wild.
a celebration.
And I don't
it's quite the celebration.
I don't know someone who was actually watching the game. I just saw this on social, but I don't know if he does it for every strikeout or if it's just the first strikeout.
So
I'm not 100%
when
sure.
you hit a home run off him, you can flick your bat at his face? Because that'll be about equivalent to that. Right?
I would imagine that, yeah. But again, like
Here,
Taylor
eat
said,
this, buddy.
people
Knew
around
about it.
baseball
Yeah.
already knew, and so none of them acted like it was a big deal. But later, he might have done it once more later, and I know that the fans were booing him.
Yeah.
So
It is.
The bat
Well,
flip
it's like
is
the
problem,
team's
isn't
not
it?
very good right now, also. So they're
Right.
probably like, stop with the tricks. Can we just like,
The gimmicks.
Can we
Forget
just-
the gimmicks.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
just actually play? All right, it's around the league a little bit. We just saw that Jahmyr Gibbs yesterday was made the highest paid running back in all of the league, which seems crazy because we just had the highest paid running back right before that, but that's of course what happens.
Yeah.
He makes like $275,000 more a year than the next guy.
Yeah,
So
Bijan.
yeah, Bijan Robinson.
And they were talking through it together.
They-
Like they were
which I
keeping
love.
tabs on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you go and get some. Yeah, me too. That's right. They both did. No
and
doubt.
that's why you are basically a hold-in. Do
Yeah.
not practice while you're a running back waiting for a contract. And it's funny, I used to have this phrase of mama, don't let your babies grow up to be running backs, because there's a song, obviously, mamas
Yeah.
don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Yeah.
And for so long, their running backs were just getting drafted, used till
Used, abused, and thrown out.
Wheels
Yeah.
fell off, and
Yeah.
then they'd move on to the next one. And it was like,
They're getting paid
do not
again.
draft a running back in the first round. That was, a
Mhm.
mantra for a long time around the league. And yeah, they weren't getting paid. It was just get a new one every 3 years, and then that's fine.
Yeah.
And now we've seen the trend reverse, and so now my song is not going to play on country.
Yeah. It feels like those guys that are getting paid, they're, as opposed to just being workhorses back in the day.
Yeah.
Where they're just pounding.
Yeah.
Pound. They might not break it for 80, but they give you 30, they give you 40. You know what I mean? Today's back will give you that. Like, think about all the guys get like Saquon and C-Mac, Bijan
Yeah,
and
Jonathan
Jahmyr
Taylor.
Gibbs. Think,
Jonathan
these
Taylor.
guys are home run hitters.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. They're not just
And
backs.
they can catch
They're-
the ball.
And they can
And-
catch.
yeah.
They're all around, playmakers, difference makers. So that's why they're getting paid that kind of money. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
how
This
it's
list
changed.
of, so Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Jonathan Taylor. I think everybody would be like, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Like you would take
Achane's
any of
another
those.
one. He just
By the
got
way,
paid,
Jeremiah
didn't he?
Love is right behind that group of guys making 13.2. So
On a rookie
on a
contract.
rookie
Good deal,
contract,
wow.
he's already making that. So now those running
fourth
backs are
pick.
probably like, well, then
Yeah.
you better pay me.
By the
Yeah,
way, I'm looking at NFL.com right now, and there's an article with 14 fantasy football breakout candidates, and there is a picture of one Parker Washington. So A, Liam, don't look at NFL.com.
yeah.
B, I think
Right.
Well, no,
I think the
your
NFL
story's
is listening to our
out
show
the door.
today, and that's why they wanted to mention Parker Washington there.
Yeah. Well, listen, Parker, like everybody's been saying, off the field, on the field, in the weight room, in the meeting rooms, in the cafeteria. It's the kind of guy you want in your
For sure.
organization.
I'm sure you guys watched at least part of the Hall of Fame game last night, since we mentioned.
Yeah. A little bit.
I feel like Carson Beck looked
He looked good.
exactly,
Yeah.
how I would have expected him to, comfortable, and like
He's
maybe
efficient,
he's gonna,
good arm.
yeah, maybe he'll end up being the starting quarterback for Arizona.
I'll root for the green and orange Mandarin Mustangs, but not the Hurricanes. So
Yeah.
that part I
Look,
ignore.
it was great. And the other kid at the end,
Haynes
Haynes
King.
King, he played
Yeah, he
well
looked good.
too.
Yeah,
It's
they
just-
both
his
looked to
legs,
me-
like he can move around
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
He can.
They
He
both
can.
look to me like they did in college, and so if you can do that at the NFL level, regardless of, I don't know, this, the studs obviously weren't playing last
Right,
night.
one starters, right.
Right, but if you can look that comfortable, then there's certainly
Definitely
potential for
something
you
there.
to battle for the starting position. All right, more to do on the other side, including the golden moment. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels from the Tom Bush family of dealership studio. There's something special about radio play-by-play. Always has been. In Jacksonville, your place for play-by-play is 1010XL.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Bowden Iron Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, in talking about the quality of cut of a diamond, is there a particular diamond cutter that's known as the best?
Frank, the answer is yes, and that would be Hearts on Fire, who have the world's most perfectly cut diamond, and we have them now at Underwoods. When anybody comes in and looks at one of these diamonds, the first thing they say is, wow! That's because these diamonds are cut from absolute maximum beauty and are really worth seeing, so you have an idea of how good a diamond can really look. They have perfect polish, perfect symmetry, and perfect proportions, and are backed up with an American Gem Society diamond quality document. Now, not every diamond could be a Hearts on Fire diamond because only certain rough diamonds in the hands of the most skilled cutters working in state-of-the-art cutting facilities can cut these. In fact, only 200 diamond cutters out of the 1 million people employed in the diamond cutting trade are skilled enough to cut Hearts on Fire diamonds.
See Hearts on Fire now at Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
It's back to school season. Get a brand new fence from Superior Fence and Rail. For a limited time, get free takedown and haul away of your old fence. A $500 value with your new fence purchase. Offer valid on residential projects of 100 plus linear feet. Call today or visit SuperiorFenceandRail.com. SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Chicken here, you know it's back to school time, baby, with Zero Res, and right now, book 2 rooms of carpet cleaning for $149 and get 2 rooms free. Yeah, book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings. Tell them 1010XL sent you.
Did you know that Coen Flowers showrooms are filled with gift ideas for the ones you love? This is Hacker. From floral arrangements to unique and timely gifts, Coen Flowers has been a staple here in Jacksonville for over 75 years. CoenFlowers.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about enjoying your life. So often we can go through life trying to make a living instead of making a life. Yes, it's good to be goal-oriented, but let me encourage you today that our days are numbered. We're not promised tomorrow, so go out and take time to be with your family. You'll always have your work, but you won't always have your family.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trusted company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment for me, all the fans that were in attendance today. A friend of mine just sent me some pictures of a signed football that her daughter got with all the specialists on there, maybe also C-Rod on there. But yeah, she said that a fan walked up to them and said, I have one extra autograph ticket. Who wants it? And so her 9-year-old went and got all these signatures. Yeah, which I love. There's something special about being a kid and getting those types of signatures. But yeah, the golden moment, obviously the mock game, everything that we got to see today. The young pass rushers looking really good. Cam Little did miss a point after attempt. Need to tighten up there. Cam. Yeah, come on, Cam is right. But yeah, we didn't get to see certain players that were still sidelined or like a vet rest day for Josh Hines-Allen. But overall, ones versus twos, twos versus ones. I would say that the starting defense probably had and the backup defense probably had the better of the day. And then one other thing for my golden moment, and that would be Hops That Help that Tom McManus emceed. And we attended just as fans of Jordan Fletcher. raised $38,433.60 just that night.
That's wild.
That is
Beautiful.
unbelievable. And obviously, all of that goes to, thank you, RJ, goes to the Tom Coughlin J Fund.
Yep.
And if you're new to town and you're not exactly sure what the J Fund does, they help families battle childhood cancer, and they are there for them every step of the way.
That's right.
Whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, anything that a family needs. Once they hear that they have their child diagnosed with cancer, the J Fund steps right up, and they are there. Families don't even ask for help.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the J Fund is there. And so they have tons of different events to help these families out. And they just want to make it as normal for the rest of the family as they can, and as happy as they possibly can for the child that's actually going through it.
Yeah, their whole, J Fund's always, their tag has always been be there. Because when Jay McGillis, who the fund's named after, when he was going through his ordeal with leukemia, Coach saw the toll it took on the family, financially, mentally, emotionally. And Mike Pano is my good friend, linebacker at BC. He's like, he went to Coughlin. Like, look, we got to help them. They need our help. Mike was very close to Jay, and we did a lift-a-thon. We raised $50,000, and that kind of sparked the whole thing. And then Tom, started the whole J Fund, and then Kelly, and it's just been incredible. It really, really is incredible. The amount of money, the amount of families. It's so you can be there for your child while they get their chemotherapy treatments. That's what it's all about. Like if you have to, because a lot of, families, both mom and dad are working. Well, one of them has to stop working and go be with the child. And that's the whole thing. So let's raise a ton of money so those parents can do that and be there for their child. And we'll help them with not just, psychological and emotional, but financial with gas cards and grocery cards.
They'll pay your
electricity,
pay your mortgage,
yeah.
your rent, your whatever, to help you out. So it's absolutely fantastic. Steve Nix, got to give him a lot of credit for putting Hops to Help together. That's been his baby for a long time, and just to be a small part of it. Jay was awesome. He was such a good kid. We were so heartbroken when he died. It was really, really heartbroken. He was one of the good ones, and taken at such a young age. But his legacy lives on because of Coach and Kelly and the J Fund. So it's pretty awesome.
It's really hard too at that age or even younger to lose someone that's around your age, especially if you haven't lost someone older than you, right? Like the normal way of death, like you think about the oldest people.
The older
and then,
people die, right? The young ones aren't supposed to die.
Exactly.
Right.
But once you go through that, it takes an emotional toll. And I'm sure in the 31 years that they've been doing the J Fund since it started, that Jay's been smiling down on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was good. He was a good player, too. Jay was a really good safety, man. He started as a redshirt freshman at Boston College.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was undersized. He was like 5'9", 180, but he could hit. He could run. And
TC loved him.
Yeah, TC. Yeah, he was TC's kind of guy, for sure.
He's a tough guy if TC loved him.
Exactly.
By the way, it was cool to see Wayne Weaver out at practice today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that he's
and Ron
able.
was out there to his brother. I was told, I didn't get a chance to get down there, but the Weavers are awesome.
You were a little busy.
I tried.
Doing a talk show, talking to Branson Combs and all that fun stuff. I would say that for fans who weren't able to make it out, there's still open practices that you can attend. Just go to jaguars.com and register for those. But it was cool today when all the fans that got the towels in their seats started waving them and yelling Duval collectively. I honestly got a little chills, even though what would you say, like 2,000 fans? How many do you think?
Yeah, it was.
It looked like it was completely sold out.
Yeah. I was telling Lauren every time, because they have the concession stands open out there, and it's like the good popcorn, the actual stadium popcorn. And every day when I'm leaving, when the fans are there, I'm like, man, I really want some popcorn. I may just have to go to somebody and be like, I'll Venmo you if you could just bring me some popcorn, please. It smells so good. But it's with the pro shop out there now. That's one of the cool things about the Miller Electric Center. Number one, you get to be with the fans. You're in the shade. There's actual fans up there cooling you off. You have concession stands down there. The pro shop's open. So it's so much cool stuff happening. I saw you were talking about the autographs. When I was walking out, all the groups were coming in to get their autographs signed. And this one little kid had his Trevor Lawrence jersey on, but his ball, and he's so ready. And he's walking, and the dad's like, "Are you ready to get some autographs?" And the kid put both hands on his head. He's like, "I'm so excited." I was like, that was so cute. I know.
That is so cool. I mean, look, the kids look up to those those
They
guys,
do.
you know?
And I don't know if the staff tells the players like smile every single kid, because this is their only interaction with you. I know you're going to interact with every single one.
Yeah.
Right.
But the players do a fantastic job. And
They
even
do.
Liam after practice yesterday was chatting with a family that won something. I think it's through Snickers.
Yeah.
And most coaches go up, shake a hand, right? Say hello, get a picture, say thanks for being a fan, and they move on.
Yeah.
Liam was there for at least 10 minutes yesterday, just talking with the mom and the little girl. Yeah. And so enthusiastic, and it's not fake. It's totally genuine.
Yeah.
And I just love that stuff because that little girl will forever.
That's a memory for the rest of her life.
Absolutely. Remember talking to him.
Yeah, and listen, having fans at practice, man, it just makes it so much better. You know, they never they would let the fans like be right outside the fence and stand there
When you played.
and we'd be doing our drills and like hitting a sled, and they'd be right there. It'd get you fired up, like you want to do a little bit better. You want to like impress them, and that's when they're out there. You're just like, man, it's not a game, but it makes practice a little bit
little
better.
extra incentive because there's extra eyes on you.
Yeah, for sure.
I went to practice in, I think it was 2013. And I will tell you, like as a fan, not as media, there were no one in the stands. There were like 15 of us, and it was open to fans. So the ones that are showing up, they're doing a fantastic job. All right, one segment to go here on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
From the Tom Bush Family of Dealership Studio.
Helmets and Heels.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care. Official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Frank Frangie here from Bono's Pit Barbecue, and I've got 3 words for you. Ribs, ribs, ribs. Bono's Rib Platter are at a low price right now. Plus, you get 2 southern sides and garlic toast with each platter. Plus, beat the summer heat with Lou's Lemonade and Strawberry Lemonade. Ice cold Southern Classic that's the perfect match for Jacksonville's favorite barbecue since 1949. To find the Bono's near you, head to bonosbarbecue.com. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. Head to Bono's today.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Written by Bowden Iron Associates.
Youth sports at the YMCA's focus on teamwork, discipline, and building confidence. Our experienced coaches can create a positive and supportive environment where your kids can grow, stay active, and develop a love for sports. Sports like basketball, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, and even elite skills training. Join the fun and register. Give your kids a chance to be a part of something special. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
David Garrard here, and once again, I'm reporting good news about how good my knees are doing following PRP treatment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For an old quarterback like me, my knees are in great shape.
You don't have to be a celebrity or a professional athlete to appreciate the everyday personal attention you'll receive at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For any orthopedic need, call on the pros at SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Tom McManus here for the Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here, so don't wait for that first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in those high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to your own backyard. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trust Line Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Ken Rimley want to thank all the top real estate agents and builders who refer us business every day. Thinking about buying or building a new home? At Trust Line Mortgage, we're here to make the mortgage process simple, clear, and stress-free. That's why First Coast residents have trusted us for more than 37 years. Since 1989, Trust Line Mortgage has been your local mortgage company dedicated to personal service. Real people, real conversations, and real solutions. Whether you're looking for a conventional, VA, FHA, or a construction loan, Trust Line Mortgage brings over 4 decades of experience to help you. And did I mention we offer the most competitive jumbo rates in Florida? If you're ready to buy, build, refinance, or simply explore your options, call Trustline Mortgage today at 904-381-LOAN or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS 246445.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal. Hey, Jason, I'm glad your technician could come look at my air conditioner on Monday. You guys were crazy busy.
Mondays are always crazy. What happened?
Oh, stupid AC started making a funny noise Friday night, so I had to put up with it all weekend before I could call you Monday morning.
Why didn't you call on Saturday or Sunday?
What? And leave a message for who knows when?
We answer the phone all weekend, and we can have a crew dispatched right away.
You can?
We have expert crews on call all weekend long. And if they're on call, they'd actually like to work.
You mean I could have called on Friday and had it fixed on Saturday?
Or called on Sunday and had it fixed on Sunday.
For the same price as always?
Same as Monday to Friday. We have the same world-class service at the same prices 7 days a week.
Really?
If you call on the weekend, your problem gets fixed on the weekend.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
This music will get you in the mood for the weekend. Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. All right, we're not going to have time to go fully through it, but I was looking at the different arch nemesises, or is it arch nemesi? Is it nemesi? Nemesis? Yeah. So ESPN put together a list of every arch nemesis for each power conference team. So you can go through it if you'd like. They group it into the different conferences: SEC, Big 10, ACC, Big 12, and of course Notre Dame. But what's fantastic about it is I was like, I wonder who, our rivals, their arch nemesis is. So Georgia, Florida State, and then this isn't a Florida rival, but Clemson, all three have the same arch nemesis, and that would be one Stephen or Spurrier. Obviously, when he was at South Carolina, that was the arch nemesis for Clemson.
That's
then.
funny.
But yeah, Georgia and Florida State makes perfect sense to me. I wondered about Notre Dame because, of course, Taylor's allegiance there, and USC Trojans would be, and it's Bush Push. So yeah, you asked if it would be Reggie Bush.
Said Reggie Bush, yeah.
Yep. So USC ends up being that, and then we discussed this off the air, but Boston College Diamond Ferry, apparently a Syracuse running back in 2003. He ran for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's good, but not incredible. Who would you say the arch nemesis is for Boston College?
Probably Notre Dame, I would think.
Got it.
Penn State. Penn State was a big rival for a while.
I think I've told you I went to the Boston College Notre Dame game in South Bend in 2002. I had friends that were at Notre Dame at the time. And BC upset then ranked number 4 Notre Dame, but the game, not a whale of a game, 14-7 was the final score. Which Boston College won 2 years in a row, I remember then. But in case you're wondering, Florida's arch nemesis, and I'm so sorry to Gator fans that were there that day, it would be Lindsey Scott and run against Georgia. Florida thought they had it, and they did not.
Yeah, he ran all right.
He sure did.
He ran all the way.
That would be with 90 seconds left.
Wow.
It was 1980 was the year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And you can still hear the call in your head from Larry Munson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
That's how I am with the Bush Push. Trauma.
Yeah, right.
So much trauma.
So
that's what they've. By the way, Notre Dame's won 7 of the last 8 against USC. When you talk, we talked about Lincoln Riley and what USC needs to do in recruiting, all that, and like that's what's kind of crazy because there was a while where it was like USC had a little bit of a stretch, but then it was like they'd win one, Notre Dame would win one, and it'd kind of go back and forth. But they have not recently, and they've got to. I mean, if they don't figure that out soon, that's why. Well, they don't have to play Notre Dame until 2030 now.
Yeah.
So they have a little
sad.
time.
You got a funny story?
I remember Tony Rice running down the sideline against USC for a touchdown. I think I was a freshman in high school watching it, or in college watching it. Pretty. Yeah, I was gonna funny story about Spurrier, right?
Okay.
So and the J Fund, so it kind of ties in together. So I forget what year it was. He was still coaching at South Carolina, back then they didn't announce, like you just went to your table and then they announced you there. Then after that they did like they brought you to the front and they announced you and you walked to your table. Does that make sense? All right. So the year that we're just gonna go to our table. We were a little late, not too late, but I had to go to the restroom. So I said, we're at table 90, whatever. It's right there, babe. I'll be right there. So I go to the bathroom. I come out. She's still in the hallway. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? She's like, we're at Steve Spurrier's table. I'm like, so? Why don't you go say hi? She's like, I'm a little nervous. I was like, don't be nervous. Let's go. Anyway, sweet as it can be. The wife was sweet.
Yeah.
I got to tell them the story about Jake. They didn't know the story about Jake. The son, Steve Jr., was there.
Okay.
His pregnant wife with triplets or something.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was just, it was fun. We had a great time. So anyway.
I don't know if she thought it was fun.
Yeah, right. So anyway, the next year, we got to go into a room first, and then we're going to go out single file. Well, I'm late again. And not that late, but just fashionably late.
You're either
and
late
I'm one of the last to get into the room. Well, as I walk in, Coach Spurrier and his son are sitting on this dresser thing, this table thing, waiting for everything to happen. And I walk in, I go, "Oh, hey, how you doing? How's it going?" And Coach Spurrier, I'll never forget, he jumps off the table and goes, "Well, we did 10-2 last year, so it was a pretty good year. And I paid no lick to South Carolina." I'm like, "Oh, that's great, Coach." He's like, "Yeah, we had a really good year." I'm like, "That's great. It's good to see you again." I didn't know what to say. It was just so funny. Right away, he's like, "Yeah, we won 10-2. I was like, "Yeah."
Okay, good
great.
job.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
We had a great time with you last year. We really appreciate you coming back.
He's a blast.
Yeah, he was fun. He was a lot of fun.
I've gotten to meet him several times over
he's
the
cool.
years.
And the wife was so sweet.
Yeah.
What a southern little sweetheart.
Little
She was
Southern
really
belle.
nice.
Did you struggle with Coughlin time?
I never believed in that.
Okay.
And I've told him that. Now, you have to, because you don't want to get fined. You got to be on time. But I didn't. You're on time. You're on time.
Yeah.
I don't need to be 5 minutes early to be on time. Sorry, Coach. I love you, but I've never ever adhered to that one. Even after, I've heard guys say, "Yeah, I'm 5 minutes." I'm like, why? It's not. You just get there on time. Yeah. If I'm there 30 seconds before the start of the meeting, I'm still on time, baby. I don't got to be sitting in my chair for 5 minutes.
Sure.
Waiting for you to come in. Anyway.
So it could have been 2011, 2012, or 2013, because all three of those years, South Carolina went 11-2 under Spurrier.
There you go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm sure
11-2. I said 10-2, so 11-2.
Yeah, I was going to make sure that he got his due.
Yeah, there you go.
11.
Give him the 11.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he and if Steve and Jerry are listening right now, they expected us to say 11-2.
That's right.
All right,
That's
let's say hello to the lead.
How dare I?
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hey, Caroline joins us now. We were talking about Steve Spurrier there just a little bit because if you looked at the college football arch nemesis for every power conference team, he appears 3 times.
That's right. Yeah.
Georgia, FSU, and Clemson even.
You know you're a good coach when that many people don't.
Seriously.
And that's what he said for years.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be liked. You know, if they like you, that means they're beating you.
Yeah.
So he's one of a kind. Yeah. And boy, I'm thankful that I was able to live through that era, particularly being young.
Yeah.
My God, the parties.
I was in college the day that he announced he was leaving, and I sobbed because I thought, as if I was an athlete signing up for a coach. That's what I thought.
You're like, I committed to you.
Correct. Exactly. That's how I felt. I committed to you for 4 years, Steve.
Yeah. So
Zook
great
was
times.
fine. Zook was fine, just not Spurrier.
Yeah. But yeah, we're looking forward to the lead today. Obviously, lots to break down Jaguar-wise from the scrimmage earlier. So Ryan will give us his thoughts on that, and we'll have Mark Long join us. Kai Stevens will join us, so we'll talk some Jaguars. Got a fun topic for Mark involving the Jaguars in the Hall of Fame, so that'll be interesting. Kind of like if you had to pick one guy out of this class to add to the Jaguars this year, like who would you pick?
Okay.
So interested to, we'll all kind of weigh in on that. And then I had a chance to catch up with Devon Hamilton after practice, so we'll play that as
Good
well.
day for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Liam
boy,
had
he
good
was-
things to say about D.
Oh, he always does. Though.
I know, it's just-
Again, I always lose sight of Devon Hamilton, and it's shame on me, but it just doesn't seem like he gets that much attention.
Yeah.
And he really is like the best in the league at what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, is evidenced by the fact that he's the key component on the NFL's best run defense from last season, but like you never hear his name at all, like nationally, and and like I said, we talk about him here and there, but he'd be, if you added up all the like times players have been mentioned this offseason on like at our station, like Devon Hamilton would be pretty far down the list of athletes, and he anyway. So
He's a lineman.
and again, I'm blaming myself. It's day 8, and I'm talking to Devon Hamilton on day 8.
Yeah.
But it's always good to give him
He
some
long snaps
praise.
too,
And
so.
I mean, he can do it all. Yeah. So all that coming up on the lead.
All right, sounds good. And I think Tom's answer to your question to
He's
Mark
a
Long.
lineman, yeah.
No, I was going to say your answer would be Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Of any of the guys in the Hall of Fame class that you could put on the Jaguars.
I love some Kuechly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm mad at him, though.
This class was really good, though, by the way.
It was good.
Great class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
There's
broke
some
my
years where
record
I'm like,
in year 20.
Yeah.
I wanted 20 years, Luke. 19 doesn't seem... I don't even tell anybody 19 years.
Oh.
Why would I tell them? 20 sounds so much.
I mean, it took a long time for somebody to get it. So
I know,
Just say
but still,
almost
with
20.
2 extra games for the record, but at least count.
yeah, that doesn't
Say
count.
almost 20. That's all you have to
Asterisk
do.
on
That's
it.
right.
Asterisk
Almost.
on it.
Asterisk. Put an asterisk on that B.
All right, that'll do it for us. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you on Monday, but don't go anywhere. The lead is next. Everybody have a great weekend.